Hey everybody, Billy Rainford from Direct Motocross here with another Zoom video interview. This one is brought to you by Race Tech Suspensions and Motor Mods. So if you're looking for stuff like that to get set up, check out Race Tech for sure. I want to say thank you to them. Hey, as you can see here, we've got someone, well, we've been meaning to talk to for a little while because he was back in, then he's out, then he was back in, and now unfortunately he's out again. But I've got Tim Tremblay here. Tim, thank you very much for talking with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, now I guess I just talked to you a second ago, and we're going to get to this soon, but you were just in a hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, I got one at home as soon as I started my career. I knew it was going to be key, and so I have one at home. So every time I get hurt, I get in there 4 hours a day, 2 times 2 hours. So it's good for healing faster, for sure.
Okay, well, we'll get to that, of course, because that's why I was just saying you're in and now you're out again for a little bit here, I guess. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But I kind of want to, because we haven't really done this part, and I always kind of like maybe some people aren't all that familiar with you. Maybe they are. Maybe this will be old news. But let's back it up to the beginning. I mean, for starters, where are you right now?
I'm at home. I went back at home in Lac Saint Jean. So I got here on Saturday because I got hurt on Friday.
Okay. So let's start off to the beginning with you. So again, maybe some people don't know. I don't actually know some of this stuff, but how did you get started racing motocross?
It was just a passion from my dad, and basically we start riding together, and I just climb the ladder from regional to provincial and then nationals, and then I made the switch to Snocross when I was 20 years old, I think. And after that, I was kind of like still riding dirt bike, but my main focus was snowcross. And I did that for 11 years, and I retired 2 years ago, I think, 1 year ago. Don't remember. And yeah, I just never really quit motocross. Motocross was really my #1 sport that I loved the most. But like everybody knows, it's really hard to make money out of it. And I was always like a good guy, but not the best guy. So it was a little bit harder for me. And when I jumped to snowcross, it was just a lot easier. And I was able to get like world champion in like a couple of years of just doing it, like jumping on the snowmobile. So the choice was easy for me to switch to the snow.
Right. Okay. Now, yeah, there's kind of a funny, not a funny story, but a little story there I want to ask you here in a second about that whole snowcross, motocross kind of thing. But I always ask people this story too. What was your first number, and why did you pick your first race number? I always like this story.
My first number was actually 7X, but on a motocross, because my dad was racing stock cars, like car racing, and that's the number he was using. But when I got to the provincial, I couldn't use it because it didn't want to have any letter and stuff. So I decided to pick 777. So that was my first number that I start with motocross, and that's the one I still have. That's my kind of a lucky, but not always lucky number.
Yeah.
And I picked 11 for snowcross because it was my date of birth. I'm 11/11, November 11th. So I decided to pick that number, and that one's retired from.
Oh, that one's retired.
What's that?
That number got retired?
No.
Okay.
Like nobody picked it, and I'm actually planning on racing vet class for next year, so I'm gonna use that number. But it's just that I retired as a pro, but it's not a comeback. I'm just gonna go out there and keep working for the kids, but kind of get some more information because I do a lot of testing, clutching, suspension stuff still. So I really enjoy doing that, and if I race the same weekends as these guys, then I'll be able to get more information and better set up for these guys.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. Now, what I have to ask for both sports, we probably know the answer to the snow side of this, but who were your heroes like growing up when you were a kid? Like, who did you come up, looking up to? Who are your heroes?
Motocross is basically JSR. I was looking up to him, and a couple more of the guys, Marco Dubé, and I really like Ricky Carmichael and a couple other Americans. And Snocross, basically, Blair Morgan was the Superman, the king of the sport, and Tucker Hibbert too was
Yeah.
a big part. And I didn't really like him, but he was so good. I had to battle a lot with him, and he had a lot of wins. But I think that was the people that I was looking the most.
Okay. Now we always talked about this. I remember before, like, I mean, I thought you retired from motocross a whole bunch of years ago, and I thought you were going to, and then you
I
did.
never did. I never did.
Okay. Well, I always remember the story. I always remember was I remember it was Gopher Dunes a few years back, and you showed up and it's like, wow, Tim Tremblay's racing, man. Okay, he does very well here. But then I know you were always worried because you made so much money racing snowcross, and you didn't want to get hurt. Then you hurt your finger. I remember. Remember you hurt your finger or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you
Yeah,
were
it was Go
super.
for Doing. I tried to race like a 252 stroke, I think, or something like that.
And you were so mad because you got hurt. And you're like, all you want to do is not get hurt and screw up your snowcross season.
Yeah, yeah. My main focus was snowcross, and I always like motocross to get in shape and keep the grind and stuff like that. And every time I was getting hurt, I knew it was gonna affect my season, my snowcross season. But now I don't care anymore because I don't have any snowcross season. But man, it's just this one just it's not good. Like I don't like it. I felt like I was prepared for it, and it's just a bump in the way. But that's part of a sport, and there's nothing really I can do. So it could have been worse. So that's the way I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. Now I haven't asked you about your current injury yet, so we'll get to that. But now, hey, I don't know if you can say this or not, and for some reason we're really weird in our sport. But can you? I heard a rumor about how much money you were making in snowcross. Are you allowed to say how much money you made at your best year?
Nope.
Also, don't make me say it. It's going to be like a Seinfeld episode. I'm leaving here thinking you paid $700 for that leather jacket. No, just kidding. But that's a Seinfeld reference for you. But you're not going to tell us how much you made on your best year?
No, no,
I'm
it's
gonna.
too personal. I know it's kind of like like the hockey guys and all that kind of stuff. You know how much money they make, but it's like it's so hard on a sport because you never know like what your competitor is making. That's what I hate because every time I was trying to negotiate my contract, I didn't know like what Tucker Herbert was making, what Blair was making. It's like it was so hard, but just to tell you, like I had a good career and I was making good money, but it's not millions. It's like you can make like hundreds maybe, but it's like I don't know if you know better. Maybe like oh, that's my maybe like a good doctor, I would say in my good years.
Yeah, I know some doctors who make 800,000 a year.
That's lower than that.
All right. So
It's
anyway,
not there.
the point is, you can see why you didn't want to get hurt and screw up your snowcross
Yeah,
season.
yeah. I had a couple underguns on the table, and motocross. I'm basically spending money, so that's kind of a easy choice for me. Because I like motocross better. Everybody knows that, but it's like I'm not making anything, and I was making good money in snowcross, and it was easier for me because I was one of the best in the world. So the choice was easy for me for sure.
Right now, speaking of that, I mean, then you went to X Games. I remember sitting in your trailer and chatting with you at the X Games a few years back there up in Aspen. Um, Snowcross stopped, and they start with the snow bike cross. What's your story there at the X Games? What do you think of that future? How'd that go that last time?
I really like that race. For me, it's kind of like I never really had good success over there. Don't know really why. I know why because we always had to struggle when it was elevation with setup and stuff like that. I had a lot of blowing engine and breaking belts and stuff like that over there. And I was able to be like 3-time champion on that circuit, and it was the same guys. It's just every time I was getting there, it seems like the skidoos they were really slow, and I couldn't do much. The best results I got was a medal, like a bronze, but it's better than nothing. But of course, like I would like to get like a gold out there, and it's just it was good times out there and a lot of fun, good coverage for the sponsors and stuff like that. But it just seems at the end like they were just really like didn't care about snowcross, and the tracks were getting super small. And the last time we raced, it was like a 25-second lap time track, and it was super icy. And me and Tucker had a bad start, and we move our way up, and Tucker got fourth and I got fifth. And it was a guy that never won the pro class that won that final. So I was just like super mad about the whole situation. And it was cool, but yeah, I didn't care at the end because the track were so shitty. Like I remember one year in 2013, you had to make like a jump over, and you were going under, and that track was awesome. Like it was super big jumps and scary things, and that track was cool. But at the end, like the last couple of years was just like not that great of a track. So oh well.
Yeah, I remember I was at the last time they did the Snocross, and it was a joke. I mean, it was like they'd given up. It was just like a couple turns, and it was just
I think
awful.
I think it's just like Tucker. Tucker killed it so much. They were just tired about him winning, and that's what they wanted to do. I mean, just trying to not make him win and get it done, I guess, because it was just like too good. Like he had the track over there and his setup and his team, and he was just too good. And I think it was just bad for the sport having one guy winning too much. It sucks. It's good for the guy because he worked so hard for it, but for the sport, I think it was just not that great.
Right. All right. Well, you've still got snow bike cross.
Yeah, I like to watch these guys, but I just I don't know. Like I sometimes I wanted to do it, but for me, like with my new job as a snowcross coach and training guy and stuff like that, it's just too hard for me to be away of this. And I'm still following the circuit of the national, so I'm gone every weekend with the guys, and I really enjoy this new part of my career. It was really hard to retire. Tell you the truth, like it's still hard. Like I can't stop doing it, but I think it's the easiest way for me to find a job that I like, and the easiest transition for sure.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. Well, what results motocross season last in 2019? What did you get up to last summer?
I didn't do much.
Oh,
I did 20 hours on my bike, and basically I was over it. And then I went to do a race, the vet at Glen Ellen. So I really enjoyed that, racing with the old guys and just having some fun and stuff like that. And basically I was not done, but I just was taking like a year off. And after I retired, it was super hard for me to I was kind of lost. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do, and like I always had that drive and that goal of racing, and I lost that. So it was really hard for me. I was not like a big depressed or anything like that, but I was just trying to find something, and basically time is fixing everything. So yeah, it was just a tough year last year, but now I'm feeling better, and I have some new goals, and I'm just living the dream every day.
okay. Now you mentioned that. How old are you now?
I'm 33.
33. Because, like I always say, and I probably bore people when I say this, but it's like I'm always impressed with people who stay that focused and at that top level of the sport into their 30s. Like you mentioned, you get burnt out, you get almost bored. It's tough to find that drive, right? So now, like you say, okay, so you kind of I keep saying retired. You didn't retire, stepped away a little bit, and then Jess Pettis gets hurt. And how come your name comes up if you're a guy that's not even doing much racing?
Yeah, that deal came. A dealer from close to my house wanted to get me as kind of a mentor and just race local races on a KTM. And then last year we got a deal with KTM right after that Glen Ellen race. I got a deal with KTM that they were gonna support me with the bike, that dealership, and with the help with KTM, and just basically do whatever I want. And I had no pressure on doing any races. I was just asked to be on a KTM and just do local races for my dealership. So that's what I started with. And then after when we were racing Snocross, our season got canceled, I think in March or something like that. And basically in that in that winter, I got the call from Matt and JSR that they were asking for a fill-in rider and for Jess Pettis for arena cross, and I'm like, man, I'm going for it for sure. So as my season was done with Snocross, I didn't have any job. Like I was done with the coaching and stuff like that. So I went down to GPF and started riding on my 450, and that's when I met Cole, and we started riding together and being really good friend together, and it was just so easy. I was just feeling like a kid again. Like I was feeling like I got my bike. I went with my van. I was living out in my van and just ride every day in that grind. I really love it. So yeah, and I started getting in shape and riding with Cole, and I kind of was maybe like riding their bike a little bit, their suspension, and try to get a good feel of it. And yeah, I changed my suspension maybe 4 times, try to get used with the KTM and stuff like that. And yeah, the race got canceled, so I couldn't do it.
Okay, but that obviously that didn't stop you, because obviously you were heading into this season now with the motocross part coming up. Well, let's talk about, because you showed up at the first round at Gopher Dunes, and I wasn't able to be there, and it drove me nuts that I saw Dylan Wright, Tim Tremblay, Cole Thompson. I'm like, man, I'm sorry I missed that, but can you kind of take us through that day, like how it went for you? I mean, those are some pretty heavy hitter names, and you fell right there in between them, so you had to be pretty happy with your riding.
Yeah, no, for me, everybody knows that Gopher is my track. The only win that I got and the only overall that I got in 2007 was there. So I'm a sand guy. And yeah, after I really kept training until that point, and my goal was to race all the national, and it still is. We'll talk about it later, the
Right.
injury. But I just show up there and with my pickup and my trailer, and I just wanted to get some good feeling of the bike and just race that race. And it was good for me. I had good speed. I was battling with the top guy out there, and I feel really good on the bike. I didn't feel the best, but I mean, the results were good. I got 2-2, and I was trying to put pressure on Dylan a little bit, but he was riding really good too. And no, I was pretty happy of the speed, and it just kept me like motivated, because I felt like I had the good speed and the shape was there, and I'm like, man, we're still like a month to go for the national, and I'm still gonna train and get ready and get the bike better. And that was my goal for it. And unfortunately, I got a little bump in the way, but that's stuff that happened.
All right, we keep tap dancing around this injury. I have one more question before we get to your injury, but now how about Quebec series and stuff like that? You showed up, did some of those? Did you race some of those? And who were your guys racing there? How did those races go against your fellow Quebecers?
Yeah, no, I raced one race in Quebec, provincial, and it was at Jeremy Mackay's track, the track that we train and we practice every day. So it's kind of like my own track for now. So it ran really good. I had really a fun time there, and my speed was really good. Lap time were good, and like I said, I've been feeling really good on the bike, and I basically destroy all these guys and and the kids. I show them who's the boss still. The old guy is still not too bad, but it's only like small races, so I can't really tell. Even like Gopher Dunes, like it's like only like 20-minute moto, and it's not all the big guys, not the nerves and stuff like that. And that's what I was telling Cole too. Cole is I'm sure Cole was gonna beat me at the nationals, and he's got more experience and stuff like that. And basically, my goal is just trying to help the team with the setup and stuff like that, and pushing these guys. And if I can beat them, I will for sure. But my goal was more to help the team and try to make their bike better for sure.
Okay, all right. So now we'll get on to, of course, what we keep alluding to here. But what happened? So I mean, I saw your Instagram post. Obviously, your leg looked a little swollen and black and blue. Where were you? What happened? What's the deal here? What's going on?
Yeah, basically, I had a good week of training with the guys, and it was last Friday. I decided to go for just for fun for a downhill session with Matt and Steve Beatty's brother, and we're just like going downhill with the downhill bikes, and came in a little too hot in one section, and I just like it was a rocky section going down a hill, and I just came in too hot and made a mistake and kind of washed out the front end. So I brake and I went over the bar, but I unclipped and I was ready to land right on my one foot. And when I land on my foot just went like sideways and just like, and then after that, I felt like it went too far and I just let my body really loose and I went for a ride. And as soon as I went on the ground, I knew like I had something on my ankle because before I crashed, like my foot went sideways and I was still in the air, and I was just like, man, what the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I was on the ground, like the swelling was just like 1 inch on each side right away. So I knew like it's broke for sure. And so some guys like Matt and Steve brother, I don't remember his name, they were already gone and I was the last one. So I was laying down on the trails, just like, man, my season is over. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And I'm just like, I couldn't believe what happened. And some guys just helped me to put my bike up. And so I went down on my bike on one leg, and I went down and basically went to the hospital. It was too long of a wait, so I went back and I just put ice on it and just like I didn't know what to do. It was just like just one kind of those deals that I'm like, am I dreaming or something? Or so yeah, basically I went to do X-ray and no breaking, nothing's broke, so that's a good thing. But then I went to do an MRI yesterday and ended up like I have one complete torn ligament,
Oh,
and with a part of a bone, like maybe one 10 millimeter, that it's gone, and another ligament that it's torn too. So it's kind of a sprain, like number 3 sprain, like the worst one or whatever. But the worst thing is like I feel better every day, and I don't think it's gonna be like months. I think it's gonna be like weeks before I can get back on the bike. But basically, I'm just taking like day by day. And the worst thing right now is the swelling. The swelling is just like my foot is super big. But every day, like I said, I go in my chamber. I do ice and hot, elevate it. I do everything that I can to make it better, like every second. That's my main goal. So yeah, basically I'm just trying to make it better every day, and I just started walking on it yesterday, so it's a really good thing, and it doesn't hurt. It's like it doesn't. It's only when the most thing is I don't have any flexibility, and so that's the worst thing. Like if I put like if I walk, like I'm not able like to bend my ankle. So basically what I have to do right now is reduce the inflammation. And as soon as the swelling's gonna be done, I think it's gonna be not too bad, I think. But we'll see.
man, see pushing it on a downhill mountain bike and pit bike racing, two things you're supposed to avoid heading into a season.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm bummed about it, but my life now is just having some fun. And it's not like I have a multi-million contract or anything like that. It's just like, for me, it was just doing it for fun. And basically the same thing as mountain biking. I mean, I go mountain biking like a couple times a week. Yes, I don't go downhill biking, but I'm just trying to have fun every day, and it's just a bad luck. And yes, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. You know, I'm a vet guy, and I wanted to do this and stuff. But I don't think I'm done for the season. But I don't know when I'm gonna come back yet. So I'm gonna go day by day, and yeah, I'm just living the dream. I just want to have fun every day, and it's just a bump in the road. It could have been worse, so I have to stay positive. So that's what I'm doing now.
Oh man. Well, that's so. I guess at this point, can you do any damage to it by putting weight on it and stuff like that, or is it just take the pain? Like, say, obviously, in a couple of weeks, we're going to have the first round of the nationals at Gopher Dunes, your track again. So, is there a chance? Are you telling me there's a chance?
For sure, I want to show up for sure, but I'm not gonna show up if I'm not ready.
Right.
That's I'm not young, you know. I'm a vet guy, and if I go racing, it's because I'm gonna be ready, and I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna be able to do like 3 good motos that weekend. If not, I'm not gonna show up. So right now I'm wearing like a boot, and it doesn't work. It doesn't hurt to walk. Basically, it's just the way that my foot went. I think it's not that bad. I mean, it's not like when I'm gonna have it like taped up and in the motocross boot. I think I'm gonna be in way better shape than if I try to do a jog or anything like that. So, but like I said, it's just gonna be one of those deals that you're gonna have to deal with day by day. But my doctor is not like a specialist on it, so she just gave me like that result that I have like torn ligament and stuff like that. But on Friday, I should have more results on what's the real damage and what I can do to come back as quick as possible. I know I'm gonna be probably doing like physical therapy as soon as possible, and that's what I'm doing every day with my chamber and ice and stuff, and trying to stretch it. And but it's just the swelling has to go down. That's the main thing.
All right. Well, that's too bad. Well, hopefully, I mean, from the sounds of it, I think we're going to probably see the 777 there at Gopher Dunes, hopefully. But wait, by the way, what's it like? I haven't traveled in quite a while, except for around here. What's it like? Quebec to Ontario, Ontario back to Quebec. Is that nothing? There's nothing there, right?
No, everything seems to be normal. I mean, everything is open here now. For sure, you still have to wash your hands and stuff like that, and maybe wear your mask when you go to hospital and stuff like that. But I think everything gets back to normal. And I'm not really watching TV that much. I don't have TV. I just have like Netflix, and I've been using it like a lot this year, these days, like because of getting hurt and stuff. But yeah, everything's normal when you go to Ontario or anything like that. There's no like border or anything. So I'm just trying to stay clean. You know, I'm just washing my hands and trying to avoid like shake hands and too many people's. But I'm not scared. You know, it's just one of those deals that we're gonna laugh about it in a couple of years. But you know, I think it's worse for the old people. It's just like a bad flu that people die from it. But people die from other flu that we don't really know too. So not to worry about it. I just hope we can have a season and everybody can race and have some fun. And it's just been like depressing for some people. So hopefully, or everything's behind and we don't have a big down part again in the after the season or before this winter.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's cool to hear that some of the top guys like Phil Nicoletti and Matt Gerke have made it across, and they're already doing their self isolation stint right now. So they've made it. So that's good to see. And then
Yeah, I think it's super cool to have these guys because it would have sucked to have a series without the champ and the Americans. I think that's what makes the series so exciting about the best Canadian and some really good Americans racing each other. So I think it's good that they're able to cross the border and give us some good battles.
yeah, and it's also you're going to have to get yourself to Gopher Dunes because there's going to be so many more people watching your series, right? Because there's no series down south yet. They haven't got that sorted out
Yeah,
yet. So
I don't want to show up if I'm not ready. That's
you'll be ready.
you know, I felt awesome this year and I felt good. So I want to show up and give like these guys a run for their money for maybe a couple laps, but I don't know. So I try to get back in shape, and it's gonna be a process of getting back on the bicycle and back on the bike and see if I have like 2 good days in me before that weekend, because everybody knows that Gopher is one of the hardest one, but my favorite track too. So of course I want to race it as thinking as a kid, but as a vet, I want to be ready. So we'll see.
All right, Tim. Well, that's awesome. That was a good catch up. That was I hope everything goes well for you. And again, it's one. Well, I was going to say sometimes a sprain can be worse than a break because you have your 6 set weeks. But like you're saying there, it sounds like it's going to be a lot shorter than that. So that hopefully we see you. I
Yeah.
guess obviously we're not going to see you this weekend at Gopher Dunes.
No, no, I'm gonna cheer these guys from home. But yeah, I'm sure they're gonna kill it, and hopefully they're gonna show these guys what's up. That's what I told Jess and Cole to show what's up, and it's another race before Gopher, but that's the time to put the pressure and see what they got. But do you know if Gorky and Phil Nicoletti is gonna be there this weekend? Probably, yeah.
Well, they won't be able to.
Oh no,
No, they haven't done their stint, their time yet.
oh, they have to be like 14 days. Shit.
Yeah, so it'll just be the Canadians. Oh, unless there's an American who happened to come up here at the beginning of the month or something. Who knows? Or before that, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're
Shit.
certainly.
I wish I could have been there. I felt like I had a little more for Dylan. Just tell that Dylan.
All right,
That's
buddy. Well,
okay.
hey, thanks for taking the time to do this, man. You got to get back into your chamber. Do you want
Yeah,
to like? Who would you like to thank?
yeah, I just want to thank everybody at KTM. You know, Matt, JSR, Steve. They've been like super nice with me, and everybody that's helping me this year. You know, other sponsors like Tor, FMF, just everyone. You know, it's been a blast for me. You know, I was kind of living the dream again with new sponsor, new bikes, and I was feeling really good about it. But hey, we're not done, and just wanted to say thanks to everyone, and hopefully I'll be able to show what I got this year. And no pressure. I just want to have some fun and have some really good talks and good racing, and be at the races. So hopefully I'll see you guys soon.
All right, Tim, man. Always great to talk with you, man. You've always been good to shoot the breeze with and stuff like that. So I guess you said you're in a boot right now. You can't show us your foot, or can you?
Yeah, I can. You want to see it?
Yeah, let's see this thing.
Yeah, I have to take my boot off.
That's all right. I can see your stove top over there too. What else you got over there?
What's that?
You can see your stove top back there and your kitchen.
Yeah, I got some ice and ice bucket and shit like that. I got all my setup. But yeah, that's the boot I have to wear. Can you see it?
Okay, there you go.
I'm gonna put. Can I put the camera on the other side?
Who cares? Just throw it around.
That's the boot, and that's my foot. Like, oh, wait.
Oh, geez, there you go. Oh man, you look like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, but it's not that bad, you know. It's like, oh, that's my poster. I eat on that every day. You see, 2007. But yeah, no, it's not too bad. I mean, it's still black and blue, but seems the blood is going all the way up now, and yeah, I can walk on it. You want to see it?
Yeah, that's okay. Sure, whatever.
There we go.
Ah, you're race ready.
It's almost race ready.
All right, dude.
It's way better than a couple of days ago. Like I was not even able to walk, but now I'm walking. So that chamber is the thing. Is money.
Yeah. I don't see you exactly flexing as you walk there. You're just.
Well, it's only my second day. Like in a couple of days, you won't even notice it.
Okay, all right. As long as you can get a motocross boot on in a couple of weeks, we'll be happy.
Yeah, it's gonna be the perfect therapy, perfect protection.
That's right.
My A-star boot's gonna be good.
All right, Tim. Well, I know it's crazy hot and humid here, so try to keep yourself cool and man, get better soon. Hopefully, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, thanks. You too. Take care, man.
Okay, see ya. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.